we've got lots and lots to talk about on this Friday evening. Welcome back to Weather for Weather Geeks, everyone. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right to it so this video is not too long. A very impactful 24 hours ahead, and then things will calm down by Sunday. Today's temperature overachieved by a lot. It was much sunnier than we were counting on today. And as a result, our forecast high of 50 busted. It got up to 57 this afternoon. It was really nice outside this afternoon. A full 17 degrees warmer than average today. Not record territory. The record 69 degrees set back in 1971. As expected, our entire television viewing area is now under a wind advisory. This actually goes into effect tomorrow around midday. It's a high wind warning right along the Lake Erie shoreline. I guess I wouldn't be shocked if they expanded that high wind warning to include maybe not our TV viewing area, but maybe some of the counties just to our north tomorrow. Either way, it's a high-end wind advisory kind of a day for us coming up for tomorrow. We're going to get to all the details on the wind and everything else momentarily. We're just giving you kind of a broad overview of things as they stand this evening. And on the cold side of this storm, winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories are out across the upper Midwest. One of the first pretty decent snow events of the season so far in that part of the country. All right, it's going to be a busy night for a lot of meteorologists across the mid-Mississippi Valley, the lower Ohio River Valley, a level 4 on a 1 to 5 scale risk, moderate risk in other words, highlighted across parts of Missouri, Arkansas, western Tennessee, western Kentucky, southern Illinois tonight, and the elevated risk, especially by December standards, extends out from that to include a good chunk of the Midwest and Mid-South this evening. You'll notice the slight risk, the 2 on a 1 to 5 scale, gets up into western Ohio. There could be some heavy gusty storms very late tonight into first thing tomorrow morning in places such as Dayton, Cincinnati, and maybe as far east as Columbus as well. The warmth is pushing north and east. It's not hard to find where our fronts are this evening. Pardon me, we have a cold front, of course, moving through parts of the middle of the country, and our warm front is extending north and east. Now, we're warm locally this evening, but it's going to be even warmer late tonight. Tomorrow's record high of 61 doesn't stand a chance, I don't think. Now, we're not going to go up to 72 tomorrow, but we'll break that record of 61 probably sometime pretty early in the morning. Tornado watches are out for a big chunk of real estate this evening, basically the entire mid and lower Ohio River Valley, the mid-Mississippi Valley. There's already been a handful of tornado warnings in parts of Arkansas and Missouri this evening. The snow is coming down hot and heavy from Omaha up to Minneapolis. All right, while we're talking about kind of the broad view here, let's talk about some clock times and various impacts. The clock times are up here at the top of the screen. Showers will push in before the end of the evening. The rain will be with us off and on throughout the night. Some of it could be locally heavy. We could have some legit downpours out there tonight. It's going to feel humid by December standards, especially. Now, we wouldn't think it feels humid if it were July, but it's December, for crying out loud. We're going to have elevated dew points overnight tonight, and so some bouts of heavy rain will be a possibility. If we get thunder and lightning, it's most likely very late tonight into the first couple of hours of daylight tomorrow. I wouldn't be totally shocked if we had a thunder shower with our cold front early in the afternoon, but the thunder and lightning may be most concentrated pretty early in the day. The strongest winds tomorrow, while it's going to be windy all day, the strongest winds should be right around the time that our cold front arrives, early and mid-afternoon, 45 to 50 mile-per-hour gusts seeming pretty likely. Once we get into the daylight hours tomorrow, the severe weather risk will not be as high anywhere as it will be tonight, but it's still an elevated risk, a slight risk, a 2 on a 1 to 5 scale. In southern Ohio, that's mostly in the morning. Same thing for central Kentucky. And around our area, eastern Ohio, western PA, I think the severe weather risk is certainly lower here. And when we talk about severe weather risk tomorrow, it's kind of a tricky thing from a communication standpoint. We can have damaging winds that are not thunderstorm winds. This is the severe thunderstorm outlook, but independent of thunderstorms, if you get a 50 mile per hour wind gust, yeah, you could have some problems in your community and in your neighborhood, but the risk of damage from actual thunderstorms is pretty low locally tomorrow, higher to the south and west. Mentioned the strongest winds probably as we get into the afternoon. Now, in the morning, there could be some gusts to 30 or 40. Best chance for 45, maybe 50 will be in the afternoon as our cold front pushes in. Look at Erie, model showing 57 miles per hour in the middle of the afternoon up there. For good reason, we have those high wind warnings out along the Lake Erie shoreline. Now, the colder air is going to plow in by the end of the afternoon and early in the evening, so we're going to have wind gusts like this still at 6 or 7, but it's not going to be 61 degrees anymore. At this point, it's going to be in the 40s, heading for the 30s, and wind chills will be in the 20s. So we're going to go from 61, 62 degrees early in the afternoon to wind chills in the lower 20s in just a handful of hours. It is going to be a pretty crazy weather day, that is for sure. When we are talking about wind gusts like this, someone's going to lose power. We're hoping that it isn't a widespread thing, but someone's going to have some power issues during the second half of the day tomorrow. And, this can be a concern if it's a prolonged outage in some communities. It's going to be cold tomorrow evening, and so you don't want your heat to be off for too long, certainly. So it's something that we'll keep our fingers crossed that is not a huge issue, but it's certainly a possibility. So you want to be prepared. Charge up your devices tonight. Make sure most of us have smartphones that have flashlights on them essentially anymore, but old-fashioned flashlights can do the trick as well. If you have those outdoor holiday decorations, if you didn't get a chance to secure them or de-inflate them or whatever you needed to do today, maybe you can dodge a few raindrops tomorrow morning and try to get that done before the worst of the wind comes in the afternoon. Then things calm down in a big hurry. In fact, bright and sunny on Sunday. Still a little bit breezy at times, midday and afternoon, but this is going to be a much improved day. And while it will be cooler, it'll still be a couple of degrees warmer than average, and a beautiful day coming up on Monday as well. All right, quick thoughts on the longer range before we go this evening. Historically, the odds of a white Christmas, odds of an inch or more of snow on the ground Christmas morning. That's our definition of a white Christmas. Historical odds for our region, roughly 45%, a little higher to the north, a little lower to the south, roughly 45%. I have updated our odds now that we're 2 weeks out to 10%. That might even be charitable, given some of the model data, so I thought it'd be fun on this Friday evening to real quickly look at some of the long-range modeling for right around Christmas time. What we're looking at here, the European Ensemble model, 24-hour total precipitation ending Christmas morning. So how much precipitation this model is currently projecting on Christmas Eve through Christmas morning. Wet on the West Coast, actually a pretty decent signal for some precipitation. Mississippi Valley on east, but is any of that snow? Probably not. This is the odds of 1 inch or more worth of snow in the 24 hours leading up to Christmas morning. Not looking so hot on the European. GFS, kind of the same idea. Odds of an inch or more worth of snow from the morning of the 24th to the morning of the 25th. Right now, that would not be smart money to bet on that. That is for sure. That being said, I do think that the pattern will become less warm as we head towards Christmas. Very balmy next week, even flirting with a record again on Thursday. A modest cool down next weekend. And then as we get closer to Christmas, it might even be a little closer to average. Now, we're not going to be in the deep freeze, but it might be a little bit closer to average around Christmas time. It doesn't seem likely that around Christmas time we'll have the sort of absurd warmth that we're going to have tomorrow and that we'll have at times later on next week. All right, stay safe out there. We'll have lots of updates on social media and on 21 News, as well as the Storm Tracker 21 app over the next 24 hours. If you're an early riser, check out meteorologist Tyler Ryan's forecasts tomorrow morning on WFMJ Weekend Today. In the meantime, thanks for watching tonight and have a great weekend.